Okay, so if you've taken part in Ishgard restoration, you will no doubt already know about the Fate system. This is the concerted efforts after you've filled the Sky Builder's sort of progression through deliverance of all of those lovely collectible items that are giving tons of experience and scripts and other rewards you can exchange for. Basically, these concerted effort fates spawn inside the Ishgard restoration, of which you must take part in, and you will actually get 500 scripts as a reward, along with a ton of experience that's guaranteed to level you if you're not already 80, and a little bit of gil. So what the biggest problem is then, if you're familiar with this, is that not everybody who actually attends it has been eligible for the actual progression of this fate, or even, taking credit for even taking part. Primarily, the community believes that this is a problem due to the fact we have cross-server enabled systems here. So people from other servers on your data center are able to join into your session, basically come to your firmament location and actually contribute to not only the turn-ins, the collectibles, but also take part in the fate events, the concerted efforts, and reap the rewards as well. For some weird reason, this has actually made it so that some people actually encounter some difficulty being able to take part in the event, myself included. This is actually something I recorded on footage I can show you here in the background. Essentially, I went to do the event, the Fate spawned on Ragnarok, and because there were so many other players, it basically has a limitation built into the system where it chooses a set amount of players that can take part in it, and then everyone else doesn't get that ability basically. So usually there are logs on the floor that spawn, and you have to click on these and then take them to a workbench, saw them up, and then go and hammer them onto the side of a building, and that gives you contribution. You can actually do up to 4 of these in the time limit, and essentially will give you gold rating in that fate. But of course, people who aren't getting the logs to spawn, who aren't getting that sort of credibility to be able to take part, are being segregated, even though, as people have said, they've spent hours contributing and delivering collectibles for their own server, only to be turned away, ineligible for any of the rewards, and the fate to basically slap them in the face. This was a problem, and people took to the forums, as you would no doubt imagine they would, saying, please, for the love of all that is holy in the 12, can we have the server sort of hop system and the server contribution turned off for this system for the time being? Well, Naoki Yoshida posted on the forums today at 9:40 p.m. Japan time and says, "Hello everyone, this is Final Fantasy XIV producer and director Yoshi P. The number of crafters and gatherers varies considerably between worlds. The worlds with the most crafters and gatherers have 4 times as many as those with the least. Worlds with low numbers of crafters and gatherers would struggle to carry out concerted works without visitors from other worlds, creating a risk that those players would not be able to experience the content as intended. The difference in the number of active crafters and gatherers is the main reason for the varying degrees of progress between the various worlds shown on the Lodestone's Builder's Progress Report, which is their progress page you can check on how your server's doing. To help ease this disparity, we decided to allow players to visit other worlds within their data center and lend their assistance to the Ishgard restoration efforts of that world. This is the first time we've implemented this type of cross-world content, and we apologize for the issues described above. However, for the first few days following the release of this content, we would like to observe the trends in each world before coming to any decisions. We understand that being able to participate in the Ishgard restoration on your own world can be very stressful, but please rest assured that we are preparing emergency measures that we can put into action should the situation deteriorate, at which time an announcement will be made. In the meantime, we ask for your patience and understanding as we work to improve your experience with this content." And then there's a large section on basically the endgame content for crafters and gatherers. The opportunity here to reiterate the concepts behind the Ishgard restoration and in blah 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 in general. Basically, all we can get from this is he's looking at it, he knows this is a problem, the team knows this is a problem, and they're going to be basically observing it, and they have measures in place to sort of rectify this. But really, is that going to, is the assumption that this sort of content is going to dip off at some point realistic? especially when the rewards are quite grandiose. I mean, we have mounts, minions, hairstyles, glamour, you name it, from scripts. Scripts are, one of the things you get from collectible turn-ins, but by taking part from level 20 and above with a crafter, just showing up and, I hate to use the word, but leeching off of that fate spawn will actually get you 500 scripts, which is, half a costume nearly, and, is already a minion's worth of scripts nearly. I don't know. I don't personally think that there's going to be any sort of lull in this, and that they're going to have to be careful how they do this. Maybe one of the solutions they could implement would be to make it so that only certain servers, like that have proven to have lower population, would allow for that world visit and contribution system, and the others you could just visit but not contribute to if they're high pop. Something like that. Or perhaps we could have a system where they can contribute as much as they want, only people on the actual server can actually take part in the actual fate. Maybe that would be a solution to sort of alleviate any of the problems that people have with people coming from other servers just for those scripts from the fate. Maybe that would actually reduce the amount of people, but not reduce the amount of people coming to help out. If the idea is to help out your fellow neighbors progress through this, then they're getting the rewards from the turn-ins anyway, and all the scripts and experience. They're just not getting the fates. But as it stands at the minute, nothing has changed, and they're wanting to observe this for a few days. So I will get back to you if this changes, of course, and I want to know your experiences in the comment section below. Have you had a problem where your logs haven't spawned like myself, or have you just not been able to zone into the Ishgard restoration area? I know that's been an issue at peak times as well, considering there are a limit of the amount of players you can have in one area at any one time. Either way, let me know below, and I'll see you all next time.